You're watching J45 KUVI, and I'm Vanessa Rodriguez. I have Doug with Sillect Insurance here today. We're going to talk about health coverage. So Doug, why should people worry about open enrollment?
Open enrollment is a time of year that a family or individual can come in, sit down with an agent, or go online and sign up for or renew their health care. There's only a certain time of year. This year it's November 1st, all the way until January 31st for open enrollment. Anytime before or after that, you're not going to be able to do any actual signups unless you move, have a baby, something like that goes on. It's a life-changing event. So it's one time a year that you're able to come in, sit down with an agent, go online, contact KUVI California directly, and talk with some about your needs.
Right.
So that's why it's very important that they get in before January 31st.
Right. And what recommendations would you give people in choosing healthcare coverage, like when they're shopping around?
When you're shopping around, I personally, for myself, and I always use that when I'm talking to a client, because I shop everything online like everyone else does these days, and I go to the websites and I try it all out, and I'll screw it up, and then I'll look for a phone number and I'll call an 800 number, and they usually will transfer you to someone that's versed in the product, but not really versed in the companies themselves.
Right.
By their names. But KUVI California itself is just like a one-stop shop. You can do it online, come in and visit an agent like myself, and there's no charge for the service. So most guys will go online because they don't want to be told what to do or how to do it, and they'll try and do it. And then we have probably more gentlemen coming in here than anyone else because they go, I really messed it up.
Yeah.
And we'll sit down with Robert, and he'll take 10 or 15 minutes with them, go over things like their income, members in the family, where they live, are they employed or not, and he'll come up with options for them.
Right, and it's nice to go over those options like the co-insurance, the deductibles, because a lot of people don't know about deductibles and co-insurance and your co-pays and all that stuff that they would look for in their plan. Choosing a plan, that's super important. So that's something you guys can go over with them, right?
Absolutely. And the unfortunate part of that is there's so many people that think because they have health insurance that they're covered.
Yes, I know.
And they'll end up in the emergency room or urgent care or someplace like that, and they'll ask them for their health insurance, and they'll hand them their ID card, and they'll have inadequate or absolutely no coverage at all for an emergency room or anything else, and then they get really frustrated and they say it's a waste of my time and my money for having this type of coverage.
Right, because they're paying for something that they really don't know what they paid for.
No.
Right.
Right.
So those are good recommendations. Thank you. Now, also with the enrollment period, is if they have group insurance, is there a way? I mean, do they have to stay with their group insurance plan?
Technically, yes, you need to stay with your employer plan if it's provided. Most employers that offer health insurance generally will pay a portion or all of your premium for yourself. Unfortunately, most don't offer dependent coverage. And that's where the problem ensues for an employee and having a wife and 2 or 3 children and depend on them, and they don't have health insurance, so they go either uninsured or they end up in an emergency room and they find out that they're responsible for 100% of what they came there for, and that's really sad. Most employers don't understand that by providing health insurance sometimes for the employee and not looking to them to help them out, which they think they're doing a great job, and neglecting or omitting completely the family, it really puts them in a bad place.
Right.
So that's kind of why, oh my gosh, excuse me, can you stop for just a second? Okay, I apologize.
You're okay.
Because they couldn't get through on that number.
Oh, so they're like, we're going to
They're
go
calling
ahead.
my cell phone. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
go back, start over again.
Okay.
If you want.
Which that was good coverage, so we can always do it. Should we stick back on that question, or should we move
Yeah, go
forward?
ahead and ask the question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Doug, with health insurance, people that have group policies or a a group insurance plan, what should they do? I mean, do they keep the plan? I mean, do they have to stay in the group plan?
Technically, yes, they need to stay in their health plan with their employer if at all possible. There are some cases where you can step out of that. The most important one you need to understand is for dependent coverage.
Okay.
Dependents, it's very important that employers, if they're listening, that they offer dependent coverage to their employees that they can actually afford.
Right.
They'll have an employee, a manager or someone, and they'll give them health benefits and retirement and 401ks and stuff, and it looks really appealing. And when they sign up to work for the company, they neglected to think about their wife and children or their husband and dependents that they have at home. And when they come into HR and find out that now it's going to be an additional $600 to $800 or $1,000 a month to add their family members on, they just can't afford it, so they don't do it.
Right.
So there's an option there that they can contact Cover California directly, go online, or again, stop in our office or any local agent here, and they can talk with an agent. And again, we don't charge for anything. When you come in here, it's just like going online, but you get a live person, and they explain everything to you. And we can adjust and sometimes take that person that has 1 or 2 or 3 dependents and can't afford health insurance for the dependent coverage, and we can actually move them to a plan, an individual plan, and get them off their employer's plan.
Okay.
Also, there's another instance, if the monthly premium exceeds, it's 8.9, so just roughly it's 9% of your adjusted gross premium per month. You can also come in here, even if you're with whatever company, and you can jump off of the group plan at work and get an individual plan. Now, by saying that, you can also get in a lot of trouble doing that because say you come in here and you pick a bronze, silver, gold or platinum program, and it doesn't have all the coverages you have with your employer, or there's dental and vision and things like that, and you come in here and we sign you up, and we get this wonderful monthly premium.
Right.
But there's nothing there when you need vision or any dental, that kind of stuff. So you got to be real careful when you come in to see us or talk to Cover California directly or go online that you're asking for those coverages that you really need. And if you don't know, it's wonderful to come in and ask for Robert or myself and sit down and go over those things. So that's probably pretty much the
Right. And so individual policies, I mean, if they have coverage that they feel that they're happy with right now, should they still get a second opinion and bring it in here and just ask them questions?
Always come in, call us, and we have literally thousands of clients that do Cover California with us, and we contact them every year by text, by email, any way we can, and say, come on in. We want to get your renewal completed for next year. Good. Again, there's nothing really in it for Doug or for Robert, but it really helps us know the customer and know their needs, because they may have added a child, or maybe they had they adopted a child, or someone moved out of the house, or a child turned to be 25 and they're moving on to their own. So there's lots of things that can happen. Also, coverages we just discussed. Maybe last year when they came in, they couldn't afford dental or vision, or maybe they wanted to move up in plans because they got a promotion at work and they can afford a few dollars more each month to have those deductibles reduced and their co-pays reduced as well by paying a small adjusted premium, a little bit more each month, but they're able to get a lot more coverage. And that's the important part, is cost versus protection or coverage. Many times, and we have people come in here for homeowners insurance or auto insurance or whatever the case may be, or for their business, and they're really frustrated because it's so expensive. So they go, can you beat that? No, certainly I can beat anything that you bring to me as far as price goes.
It's just what's important to you.
But what's important to you as far as the coverages go. So be very mindful of coverage versus what you're paying each month. And you may be able to accept a little more risk sitting at our desk, but when you get home next month, 6 months from now, and something happens that you didn't foresee, that could be a big problem.
It could be a big problem. So it's good to take a look at those benefits every year, and then also for those ones that do have a plan and their finances do go down, instead of completely not having medical insurance, maybe lowering their plan or finding something that's important to them so they could still afford it, right?
And understand, we don't just market Cover California products through Cover California. If the income is at a state or below where even Cover California isn't an option for them, we can sign them up for Medi-Cal on the spot.
Oh, nice.
And that's, it's there, it's available. We can do it for you. It's not a problem. A lot of people, ooh, Medi-Cal, that's really good coverages actually with Medi-Cal. People are turning 64, coming up on age 65, and again, they're going to go off of Cover California and go on to Medicare. And we can help people sign up for Medicare, the original plans. Then we can move them on to an Advantage program, a supplement. There's all the kinds of things that people turning 65 need to understand that may have only had Cover California with us with a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum program.
Right.
So that's very important to know as well.
Are there any limitations with the insurance for people, age, anything like that, when it comes to insurance, or are there any limitations for people?
There are some limitations as far as originally when you first move in to Cover California, but most of them are income, whether they qualify for Medi-Cal or if they qualify for one of our individual plans, or if they're currently with their employer and they're just looking to find out if we could help them price-wise versus coverages. And in most cases, we can offer equal coverage for around the same amount of money, and that dependent coverage we discussed right there, you can also add your family on. That's the big, big deal. And right now in Kern County, we're a big oil industry here. There's a lot of people laid off in the oil industry right now, in agriculture and stuff like that. But oil industry is really taking a big hit. A lot of people work for Chevron and a lot of larger companies, they've been laid off.
Right.
And their benefits, they went on COBRA, and the COBRA benefits have expired. So we have the ability to help those folks as well. So that's really important. Again, back to the renewals, back to all the things you were asking me about. It's very, very important for them just to stop in. Please try and make an appointment if you can, because if you walk in, it can be quite a long wait, especially after January 1st. We get inundated for the next 31 days. So try and make an appointment online, or just give us a call.
What is your number? If somebody's trying to get
Phone number is real simple. It's 393-9050. It's been the same number for 25 years at the time I've been here in Bakersfield, and most people know it as Sillect Insurance. Again, Sillect Insurance is spelled a little differently. It's S-I-L-E-C-T, or go to Sillect.com.
So come out here and take a look at your benefits, and let Doug help you guys figure out what you're looking for. So you can come by and stop by, or make an appointment and call ahead of time so you're not waiting. You're watching J45 KUVI, and thank you, Doug, for having us.